to our brothers, the Taliban.
If any person in my party says anything like that, I don't care. You support white supremacists, you support black supremacists, you support the Taliban, call your brothers in ISIS, you call your brothers in, I don't know, a revolutionary group in East Africa or something. You call them your brothers. Immediately I'm saying, why are you calling them brothers? You must have sympathy for them. Goodbye.
100%. And are you really surprised, Andrew? Last week we saw Marc Garneau, our spaceman in Ottawa, saying it's too early to tell if we'll reestablish diplomatic relations with the Taliban. No, the only answer is no. No, we do not recognize terrorist groups. And this jabroni is talking about reestablishing diplomatic relations. It's embarrassing.
It's crazy. The first news that I think that we're getting to, says producer Justin, is that we've found a new brothership in Canada. According to, what's her title again?
She is the Minister for Women and, I think, Gender Equity.
Very cool. A very nice and progressive title. And she was, asking for some leniency from the Taliban, as we always do. Her name is, what's her first name, Justin? Maryam Monsef is her name, and that's her ministerial title. And she was just talking about the Taliban, how we should plead with them to be safe and give safe passage to the people. And let's just go ahead and show the clip, Justin.
To our brothers, the Taliban, we call on you to ensure the safe and secure passage of any individual in Afghanistan out of the country.
Well, was she reading, or was she taking a second minute to clarify that she wanted to say our brothers?
Can you imagine that? If you had to describe them with a B word, how about bozos? No, actually, that's too defamatory to the clown community. Bastards works for me. The best would be barbarians, because that's what they are. In fact, what's amazing about Maryam Monsef, who I always call the Minister of No Fixed Address, sometimes she was born in Afghanistan, sometimes it's Iran. It depends on what's convenient. The way she delivered that call out for the brothers, to use a Hulk Hogan term.
Exactly.
If she was dressed like that right now in Kabul, she'd probably be paraded into the soccer stadium, and not for a game of foodie either. She's not wearing any head covering. And of course, the brothers, as she likes to call them, prefer the females in a full-out burqa or niqab. So this is absolutely appalling, but not surprising, because, Andrew, we don't want to be insensitive to the terrorist community, especially the visible minority terrorist community. So let's not call them for what they are, which is barbarians. Let's call them brothers, because I feel a whole sense of brotherhood with members of the Taliban. And this idea of I call on you, to make things safe for women, that's like me falling into a water trap on a Florida golf course that has hungry alligators in it, and I say to them, I call on you to let me climb out and not get eaten. Andrew, another misstep, and according to her, the reason for the B word, brothers, is this is a cultural reference. Are you buying that?
No. If you're brothers in the Communist Party of China, or you got some brothers in North Korea, in the Kim Jong-un regime, maybe you have, if somebody in conservative circles said, my brothers in the Russian oligarchy, you'd be hung out to dry, you'd be fired immediately, or you'd be called to be fired. I don't ever say this, but I think she should be fired for that. You can't have somebody, I don't care what you claim is this cultural thing. She had a second to think about it. Even the optics of it are obviously poor. As soon as you refer to somebody who's listed from a terrorist country as your brother, then you've got a problem. And to claim it's a cultural thing, so what, like referring to somebody who's in a terrorist group in a cultural manner is still okay? Like if I refer to like I don't know, what's a European terrorist group? What if I referred to the Chechens as brothers or something?
Oh.
It's like, oh, why? That's Russian. It's a cultural thing.
No, I don't think you have to go that far. I referred to the Proud Boys as brothers.
Well, there you go.
And they're crucified.
And yeah, so you imagine that. Imagine Aaron O'Toole did that.
Oh, yeah. No, and I mean, I'm of the opinion, I know I'm not one that embraces cancel culture, but when it comes to Minister Monsef, there has been so many scandals, I would say, including where, in fact, she was born. And I go back a couple of, I think it was 2019 or 2018, I was with our top trained broadcast professional, that would be Efren. We went down to World Press Freedom Day at Chorus Entertainment, no less. And folks, World Press Freedom Day. And guess who's not taking questions? But I didn't listen to that. I followed Maryam Monsef out and asked her a few questions. And guess who got expelled from the chorus headquarters?
David Menzies by any
That would be
chance?
me and Efron on World Press Freedom Day. I don't know if Mr. Producer Justin can call that up. Maybe we can refer to that later. But I was asking insensitive questions of Ms. Monsef, and that's good enough to get you out. This is yet another weak candidate, I would say, Andrew, that I think has probably been appointed to a portfolio because you remember the election 2015, it was going to be a 50-50 gender split cabinet because it's 2015. And, you know, it was basically affirmative action, I think, at play. Or even worse, what if there are more women members of the Liberals right now that maybe it should be 60-40 in terms of 60% female, 40% male. So in a way, this 50-50 rule is kind of a barrier for potentially star candidates.
Well, this is what happens when you hire stupidly like that. But furthermore, if any person in my party says anything like that, I don't care. You support white supremacists, you support black supremacists, you support the Taliban, call your brothers in ISIS, you call your brothers in, I don't know, a revolutionary group in East Africa or something. You call them your brothers. Immediately I'm saying, why are you calling them brothers? You must have sympathy for them. Goodbye.
100%. And are you really surprised, Andrew? Last week we saw Marc Garneau, our spaceman in Ottawa, saying it's too early to tell if we'll reestablish diplomatic relations with the Taliban. No, the only answer is no. No, we do not recognize terrorist groups. And this jabroni is talking about reestablishing diplomatic relations. It's embarrassing.
It's crazy. And like black guys, maybe an older generation of black guys call each other brother. If you still wouldn't call a person from a group that you wildly are supposed to disagree with your brother. Like there's no cultural relation where you call somebody who's a terrorist your brother, like even if it's just, oh my God, it's so pathetic. That's what we have to cover it up now. Like just admit it that you're sympathetic to them, as you clearly are, and move on with your day. And if Justin Trudeau wants to keep you in the party, well, then that says something else, I guess.
But Andrew, it's, you know, another example of how friendly this Trudeau regime is to terrorists. Omar Khadr getting $10.5 million for her feelings.
You can't say that.
Jaspal Atwal being brought along to that disastrous India trip. A man who's part of a Sikh extreme. Well, I can say that. As a matter of fact, he was convicted of attempted murder.
Listen, David Menzies, the only thing you're supposed to focus on is the dancing. Let's not talk about the terrorist dinners. Just Justin Trudeau coming out and doing this. Okay?
Of all the people to bring along, you know, I mean, is Charles Manson still alive? Because they couldn't bring him out
There's
of
some great Charles
security.
Manson videos doing Dance Dance Revolution that maybe Justin can bring up. I want to move on.
Oh, before you do,
Go ahead.
Mr. Producer has found that video evidence in case people think I exaggerate. This is me trying to get some pithy quotes out of Maryam Monsef on World Press Freedom Day a while back. Ask yourself this, folks. Does she answer my questions?
The United Nations told our reporters they were banned from covering their conferences due to a directive from the Canadian government. Do you support that?
I hope you support what we're doing here today, which is ensuring freedom of expression and an independent free press for your colleagues around the world.
But that's precisely the point. We traveled to Morocco, we traveled to Poland, and we were shut out of UN conferences because of an edict from your government. Does that sound like world press freedom to you, Minister?
What we're doing today is supporting an independent and free press in some of the most troubled regions of the world. And I have no doubt that you rejoice in this investment and this initiative.
Well, but how do you square the fact that you won't even let Canadian journalists that might have a dissenting opinion about things like immigration and climate change to attend UN conferences? And here you are advocating for World Press Freedom Day.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Okay. This doesn't look like a lot of freedom, ladies.
Well, she's in her private area now. Thank you very much.
Okay, then. Sorry. Well, there you go.
Why did the PR people walk along with her there? Like,
oh, a human shield. You know how dangerous I am. But she's saying we're ensuring freedom of expression and a free press. But I guess it doesn't apply to Canadian journalists in Canada. I guess, Andrew, my fatal flaw is I guess I should have moved to, I don't know, Somalia and or some other region where free press isn't treated so nicely. And then Maryam Monsef might have the time of day for me. But did she answer any of my questions there?
well, David, if you want to move to Somalia, that's not fair. They don't have a real government. You can't expect these rules of them. I think what's going on here is this was a time when, first of all, you guys were unmasked, extremely irresponsible.
Oh, it's before the pandemic.
Still.
I should have.
We've learned that it gets rid of all diseases and all illnesses. Therefore, you should have been wearing them in advance, David, if you know your science.
Oh, mea culpa.
David, I don't expect any of these people to answer your questions, and the reason is because they don't have to ask any questions. They don't have to have or answer any questions. They don't have to have actual, skills in order to be put into their position. Nobody in the Justin Trudeau government has specific skills related to their job, and it sounds harsh, but over this 6 years that we've had people in Parliament there in the Liberal Party, not one of them has shown to me that they're overly qualified for any position in government. Who's the good sir who got kicked out for squandering all of our money? And Bill Morneau?
Oh, yes, the finance minister, of course, yes.
See, he's skilled in scheming money out, but not exactly good at his job. So I don't expect them to answer questions because they've never had to be fielded questions. I doubt they were interviewed about the role in any capacity more than, will you do what I ask you to do?
It's such a lack of courage. It's such a lack of moral integrity. Because remember, Andrew, these people claim to represent us, we the people. I would get a better interview from a Coke machine, folks, if I put my toonie in and a soda didn't come out to interview the Coke machine than I would from a Liberal cabinet.
A toonie for a Coke machine, David.
Oh, hi. That was a clip from our Rebel Daily live stream. It's hosted Monday, Wednesday, and Friday by the big boss man, Ezra Levant, and Tuesdays and Thursdays by me, Sheila Gunn-Reid, and my good friend, David Menzies. On the live stream, we talk about the news of the day, we show some videos, and we interact with our viewers at home. We stream at 12 noon Eastern, 10 Mountain. You can find us on YouTube, Rumble, Super U, and Odyssey.